If you have decided that something in your work needs to change, you may have expected that decision to bring you relief, a sense of lightness, perhaps, or even some excitement about what comes next. And yet, for many people, the opposite happens. Instead of feeling clearer, you feel unsettled. Instead of energy, you feel low. Instead of momentum, there is doubt. You may find yourself wondering whether you misread the situation or if the timing wasn't right, or even whether it would be easier to go back to the way things were before. And in that moment, it can feel as if there is something wrong with you. But this is not a mistake. It is not a sign that you made the wrong choice. For years, perhaps even decades, your role has been more than just what you do. It has also been how you introduce yourself and how the world sees you. Dentist, doctor, engineer, director, business owner. When you begin to loosen your grip on these labels, even in your own mind something shifts. You are no longer who you were, but you are not yet who you are becoming. This in-between space can feel empty. You have stepped away from a version of yourself that, although no longer fitting, it was familiar. It gave you a place in the world and defined who you were. It gave you a sense of certainty. And let me tell you something. Your system does not let go of that overnight. And this often results in losing your orientation, like being lost. You may also experience a dip in your confidence, also a drop in energy levels. There is some underlying internal dialogue that happens there. Perhaps you might think that I used to be good at things and now I don't, or I used to know where I was standing and now I don't. All this does not mean that you are going backwards. This happens because you are transitioning between identities. You know, we rarely talk about this part of change. Instead, we talk about bold decisions and fresh starts and reinvention, but we don't talk about the feeling of quiet loss, of living a role that once suited us, even though it does not longer feel right. There is a loss here, not of a job, but of a version of yourself that understood how things worked. And loss does not feel energizing. It feels sluggish. It feels heavy. Many people see this phase as a failure. They think, if this was the right thing, I would feel better by now. Or they may also feel that others seem to move forward with more confidence than them. Or even think, maybe I'm not made for this. But what is really happening is a reset. What used to guide you no longer applies. The old measures of progress and success have, in a way, lost their meaning, or at least their interpretation. And the new measures have not yet taken shape. You are learning how to move without a script, and that takes time. In this phase, it can be tempting to rush things, to force clarity. You want to prove that you are still competent by pushing yourself back into doing things. But this phase is not a problem to solve. It is a passage to move through. You are not meant to feel complete here. You are meant to feel unfinished. This does not mean that you are lost. It simply means you are between chapters. If you recognize yourself in this space, accept it as a fact rather than a judgment. Because it means that something real is changing. It means that you are no longer pretending. You don't need to hurry out of this phase. You do not need to appear certain. And you certainly don't need to prove that your decision was right. It's okay to be in the middle. You are allowed to be in transition. This is not the end of who you were, and it is not yet the beginning of who you will become. It is the space in between.